this place!
Hey, man, is that Double D? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening their refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement. Which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
When we got the descriptions, they were very adamant. They were like, try not to make it like a white blonde guy. Like, please. Like, we love him, but there's like 500 million of them.
The diversity that the characters need to have needs to reflect the gaming world now. The mix of people that are playing these games, you know, it's not the, 13-year-old white boys held up in their basement. It's a very diverse crowd,
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
What's this?
What's this? It's the jacket.
The jacket.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wiped it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
5, 4, 3.
Great sandwich!
我が心と行動に一点の曇りなし。すべてが正義だ。ドジャーン！ドジャーン！ドジャーン！一体何のつもりなんだ！遺体はこのバレンタインのことを好いてくれて。
Double zeros, baby!
Double zeros, baby!
Double zeros, baby!
How is everybody doing? All right.
Hola.
Yeah, we got Crazy Mouse in the house.
Kanishiwa, I guess, would be actually.
Kanishiwa. You guys like that?
Yeah, I never seen that one before.
I'm telling my grandkids that's exactly how it went down.
Iron Man was USA. Iron Man was right there.
Got Crazy Mouse and Rogan here in the
Hi.
house. And
we got anybody else here, Double D?
Ooh, yeah, we got lots of it. We got a VIP. We got Pundits in the audience. Good to see
Snake
you,
Oil,
Mercurius.
Zaydan,
Yeah, we got
RPG.
Yeah, Snake Oil Shan.
Shirley, Travis.
Yep. The roll call. Steel Mongoose. Good to see you. Jeff Hatch. Good to see you, man. Hungar. Israel and all the others.
Overkill in there.
Overkill. Yep. Everybody else. Thank you so much. Quick show note. Tonight we're having Matt and Nick, the Black Lodge guys, on. We're going to talk Shucked Oyster, Shucked Oysters, and that's probably going to be it tonight.
What was that skit with? Not the skit, but that episode of Game of Thrones where Arya was selling that stuff on
cockles
the dock.
and oysters,
yeah.
and shellfish. Oh my!
Mercurius hooking people up.
Ooh,
like
look at
sand.
that. Go ahead, throw that up there if you want. Mercurius, 1 membership. Thank you so much, Mercurius,
Look at
Mr.
this.
Dependable.
All right. And to who? Ooh.
Hungar, the Starbarian, became a member. That's who it went to.
Thank you.
Couldn't have gone to a better guy.
Thank
Good to
very
see you here,
much.
Hungar. Yeah, so we have exciting guests on this week.
Oh,
And
Charo.
it's like the Love Boat.
Hoochie coochie.
But probably no O&R guys. Me and the missus are headed to VengerCon tomorrow. Unfortunately, some financial stuff came up. Rogan is not going to be able to make it.
His sled broke down.
His sled broke down.
Man.
Yeah, but the missus and I are still going to be there. So we're looking forward to
Chris Miller's in the house for that, correct?
I do believe in him, and I know Lord Mattias is going. So
Okay.
all right, so without further ado, let us bring on
Charo. No,
Charo.
Black Lodge Games.
Black Lodge. There they are. How you doing, guys?
What's up, man?
Awesome. The intro is fire. The lore has grown, I've seen.
Yeah. Just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I gotta cut it out, or it would have been like 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
So I was like, got about 3 minutes is good, but I actually started a little bit before 7. So.
Well, that's the Shauner's videos have a 10-minute intro now before the video starts. They're amazing.
Can't do that. Yeah, you
It's
can't
like
do it.
in Rocky when they're announcing Apollo Creed.
The master of
Just get on with
disaster.
it.
The king of Sting. Dr. Urius Papers 2020, $5. Thank you so much, sir. JD Vance plays Magic the Gathering.
Hell yeah.
It's in his
Yes, he
book
does.
and movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hillbilly Elegy. I still have to read that. That's cool. Might have a Magic player as VP. That'll already turn Rogan off from him. He hates Carters.
I can make an exception.
All right, good.
We got a big one. Mouse dropping.
Hello, Disco Barbarian, $20. Thank you so much. Looking forward to Double D, Rogan, and Crazy Mouse sliding their way into Ginger Fraser and Babyface Bashimi Shucked Oyster. Oh, wow, that's
Yeah, man.
there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? Y'all are 2 of my most favorite YouTube channels. Keep fighting the good fight. Well, I'm sure on behalf of
We will.
the Black Lodge boys,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Disco. Much
We
appreciated.
will keep fighting against bad RPG content on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
That's our primary fight right now.
They'll handle that end. I'll dip my toe into the political end ever so often. So thank you guys very much. All right, so let's talk Shucked Oyster. First off, this is going to be your product. Explain what it is. And by the way, guys, this is going to be a Kickstarter, but it's not live yet. But
Yeah.
the link is in the description here, and there is a sign up or a notification. So please click on it and at least get notified when it goes live, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is going to be August 6th.
Yeah. Tuesday,
Oh, okay,
August
good.
6th. Yeah. So really soon.
So what is it? What is the Shucked Oyster?
Oh man, our playtesters have described it as a surrealist Lynchian nightmare, which is the highest compliment we could have ever from them, which is great. But it is an adventure, but it's non-linear in nature, so it's meant to be dropped into your existing campaign. So basically, the Shucked Oyster itself is a brothel that is prone to freak accidents and disasters that cause it to burn down every couple of years. By the time your players get there, it'll probably be like every session or so, depending on their actions. But you put it in your kind of existing Shadow Dark town as a point of interest, and we have a random encounter table that basically for the Shadow Dark rules is a substitution for whatever district you would place it in. Now it's compatible with basically any old school D&D fantasy setting product. I've been running it in Adventurer Conqueror King to great success. But the idea is you place this in a district, and then you can use the random encounter table essentially to draw them into this really weird web of intrigue, and then some actual surreal adventures surrounding it. There's a lot going on in the background, but it's primarily supposed to be kind of a carousing location that you go to that will very quickly escalate things in your campaign and make it very weird.
I like how you leaned into the Shadow Dark aspect with the random encounter tables, because that's a big part of Shadow Dark.
Oh yeah.
But I can also see, like you're saying, there's there's not a lot you would need to change in order just to like bring it into any, like it'll fit into any like old school.
No.
It's
Yeah,
very old
especially
school and feel.
Any system or OSR game that uses reaction rolls as like a core mechanic, you don't have to really do anything. Certainly with regard to the NPCs, of which there are many.
Yeah. And that's kind of the meat of the product, is because we come from a very kind of different background in role-playing games than most old school people. And one of the big influences, obviously, is for us is Vampire the Masquerade. And a lot of the way that like a lot of the city books were written, the meat of those things was this big network of all these different characters that you can run into. And you kind of, just by interacting with one or two of them, you step on people's toes without knowing it, and you get drawn into bigger and more sinister things. And in this, it's you do get drawn into bigger and more sinister things, but you also get drawn into very weird and funny things as well. It's kind of got a darkly comedic twist to it.
Disco Barbarian, $5. Looking forward to using this for Sword and Sorcery, Conan, Faffer, Grey Mouse, or Elric.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's weird because you're right. I mean, I know you guys have been pretty open. Like, you know, you don't try to pretend like, oh yeah, we're old school D&D guys from way back when. You don't run from your background, and I love that. In fact, you put as the inspiration for this, like you won't see, you know, like Conan the Barbarian or, you know, like stuff you'd see in like a lot of stuff. It's like Twin Peaks and stuff like that, which I absolutely love. But I think people don't realize how close, you know, maybe an old school game is to that kind of stuff. I mean, it does kind of transfer over pretty easily. In fact, I've always found myself drawn to these kind of products, these kind of like, hey, just throw this in. Here's a bunch of like well-developed NPCs. You can use them. You don't have to use them.
Right.
But when they're in town, in between, I know, Pete, God bless you, if you love the old school way, you know, where you go dungeon delving, then go back to town, then go dungeon delving, go back to town. That's fine. Going back to town is half the time.
Yeah,
so why not make it fun? I mean, it's
right.
It's
that was a big like impetus to to making it, where it's, you know, Shadow Dark especially leans into, you know, you carouse, you go on benders, you blow all your money for extra experience. As part of your downtime, you burn it all, easy come, easy go, and then it's back to the dungeon.
Right.
But let's make the downtime activity, let's make the town not just a safe zone, not just a place that you sort of gloss over or, you know, change the scene, hand wave away. Let's have really weird and crazy things happening.
Yeah. And we definitely do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was you guys were, like I said on your show last week, you guys were kind enough to give me an advanced copy of this, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was actually I was impressed by just how well developed it already is. So if you're at all unsure, like if you think if you think it's going to be like an MCDM product for
no.
I know it's
we've actually
pretty much done.
Yeah, our product exists already. And that is the plan. Basically, is that we have one final section to write, like further adventures, you know, like things that happen after
continuing
the scope. And that remains to be written, but right now we're right in the process of going through and revising based off of a lot of the playtest data that we've had. Lord Mateus has playtested for us. Tora's done a bunch of playtesting for us. We've been playtesting it. There are a couple of others, and it's been super, super valuable. But we didn't have to change anything about the core idea. Like the core idea of the thing is really, really solid. And we thought when we this was so stupid. We thought this was going to be like 30 pages when we started.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's one location, and then it just instantly ballooned, and now it's almost 200. So it's
wait, 200? Did you say 200?
200. Yep. Yeah. It's and digest size, so it's about it'll be about the same size as the
Shadow Dark core book. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I'm bringing the Shadow Dark core book to VentureCon, so I know how thick that thing is.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, why is this bag so puffed out? And I'm like, oh, it's all this book.
Yeah. Well, it's got to go like the game. I initially misjudged Shadow Dark. I saw it and I was kind of like, it's dungeon crawling, like whatever. But like, it's really a very tightly made game. Like, there's no fat on it, and she's managed to condense like all of these really kind of complex ideas from older D&D and boiled them down to their essence in these tables. Like we populated all of our dungeons using the tables in the core book. We did all sorts of stuff with that, and it was really, really good. Like I'm much more impressed with Shadow Dark as a game than I was previously. It's not for everything. Like it doesn't have like domain rules and things like that. But you would want to be playing.
Trying to do that.
It's not trying to do that. Yeah, it's very focused on a very tight vision and executed that just tremendously.
Have you had a chance to run much Shadow Dark since its release? I mean, I know you obviously probably know it pretty darn good writing a product based on it. I just wondering if you had any like GM experiences doing it.
I have been using the Solo Dark rules that were recently released, which is also my first solo gaming experience. I've never done that before. But I have a playtest using the Shadow Dark rules themselves coming up this probably Monday, I think.
Someone's doing laundry in the background.
No, you didn't see anyone.
Don't pay any attention to that over there.
So there's so many like
Charo.
So many like really like well developed like NPCs. When you guys are writing these, do you have like a base in your mind, like, oh, that could be this character from this or this actor? When you're going through, is that the way you kind of like work, or is it something different?
Sometimes, but
I would say not really.
We honestly, we started with names of people, because I think names are very important, and a lot of times they give you some sort of information about the person.
Well, we had the location. This is a wild and crazy brothel. It burns down frequently. What type of people are going to be frequenting a crazy place like this?
Yeah.
Like, okay, obviously certain personality types
gravitate. Yeah.
Right.
But we also knew that we want there to be like a bunch of monsters that are like showing up to this place that either work there or are patrons, because this is not your standard carousing location. Right. But we kind of started with, I think once we got like, especially the patrons were the people that we made first. And because we wanted to say like, okay, what's actually surrounding the brothel?
Yeah, what's going on but more importantly, beyond this sort of one location. Because this is, a lot of these people around town, these are more NPCs that are going to exist in the wider town, city, wherever you set this location. What are they up to? Because they're not just working at the brothel, they're doing other things. They're a blacksmith, or they're a baker, or they're an innkeeper,
or a tailor, or a
tailor, someone
who's starting an adventuring school who also happens to be a 13-foot tall cyclops.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So all right, so when did you first get the idea to do like this kind of exact thing? Even if it wasn't the Shucked Oyster yet, but like, hey, let's make a single location adventure. And
it was based off of the video we did comparing Shadow Dark to Old School Essentials, which we were initially going to do and then did not do at all. we didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, we started writing the intro to that video, and
let's do a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, stream of consciousness, like
it's funny,
like a little story about what you're doing in Shadow Dark or Old School Essentials. And we got through the first paragraph in the script, and we were like, this is way more interesting than comparing these games to each other. And as we were, coming up with this just lunatic story, we were like, okay, so he's going to a brothel. What should it be called? And then we sat there for a second, and Nick came up with it. And he's like, it should be called the Shucked Oyster. And then it just stuck in our mind. We couldn't get it out. We kept laughing about it and like thinking about, because it gets destroyed in like a spell mishap in that video. And so we were thinking like, okay, what if this just happens all the time? And then it kind of just kept rolling from there.
Yeah, because what we like clued in on in that video, the one thing that was interesting at the outset about Shadow Dark was this realization that you're just doing like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing.
Yeah.
You're going out to the dungeon.
You
don't
go there
know or
because you
care what-
have to, because
you
you're
have to
always
because you
broke.
blew all the money.
Because you have no self-control whatsoever. You go and party and you get stronger because of that. And we were like, this is the incentive to keep going. And we just couldn't get the idea out of our mind. And so that's again why we're like, this will probably be like 30 pages. It'll be a quick thing. But then it just very rapidly escalated and kept getting more and more interesting. The characters kept
seem
getting
more interesting and okay, what we have here obviously connects to this guy, which connects also to this thing. You know, it all sort of coalesced and like the web got more dense, but also like more cohesive. Like it really feels like a town or like a slice of life from this one area of a town.
And this weird undercurrent to like, you're out doing adventures, maybe there's the big bad evil guy, or you're going to you're raiding these sunken temples, but back at town there's just this madness happening right under the surface.
I have a question for you guys. For this tavern, how big is the city that it's in?
It's up to the players.
We did not define.
We didn't define anything about it. So the only thing that we have, some locations that are referenced in the text that are in the surrounding countryside, basically. Like there's a farmstead, there's something going on in the forest with one of the NPCs, and I believe maybe we made reference to like someone in the mountains or something like that, but it's all very vague, so it can just be placed anywhere. So you can put it in a really densely packed city, or you can put it in a really small village.
If it was in a small village and this place kept burning down, it'd be like the same 11 people that are constantly going there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Well, that's the
what
thing,
else are you going to do?
Circle of suspects is getting smaller.
It's attracting people from all over. It's really famous for adventurers. It's this wild place. And for some reason, the town, it's just kind of accepted that it burns down every once in a while. They don't really care. They don't really ask questions. And that might be weird for your players.
Might be weird.
And
Maybe
you might
there's
want to
something going
investigate
on
that. Yeah.
In Double D's campaign for Birthright, we had a bar that we always just went to.
Crummy Crab, actually.
The Crummy Crab. but
Probably
like-
it's probably part of a franchise or something.
Yeah.
Crabs, oysters. Chris Miller, $10. The Conan online game had a brothel called the Bearded Clan. I've used that as my go-to brothel name for years. LOL.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for continuing your great game. Thank you so much, Chris. Hey, Chris, are you still able to make it to VengerCon? Am I going to see you in a couple days? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, I know Lord Mattias is going. I am becoming a huge fan now because Greg, I think, has it in his Dragon Slayer RPG. And I know you guys, are fans of it too. Spending money carousing to get experience points.
Yeah.
It's a it's almost like it's a free way for characters to almost like level up if they're sitting on a shitload of money.
Right.
Right.
Like,
But there
hey,
is
look,
a trade-off because you can't then use it in game. But I think a lot of games have the problem that you don't have much to spend it on in game.
Well,
and
it's like
that's something that Adventure Conquer King, it's like you've got a million things to sink money into. So,
well, I suppose it's that the things that you would spend them on aren't suitable for like table play or talk. I mean, you have a really good disclaimer about people who want to get into the sex aspect.
Like, right. If you think that this, this is
Millions.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, this is the thing.
Like,
it's been kind of hard because there are people that are like, "Why are you making a brothel?" And it's like, just think for 1 second about this. Like, have we ever talked like we want to make some sort of like sex RPG or something like that? It's crazy. But we can actually we can go to that section if you want to pull up the screen share.
Yeah.
While you're looking for that Double D, Chris said yes, he's
Oh.
coming in on Friday.
Excellent. We'll see you Friday, buddy. You and Lord Mattias, looking forward to rolling some dice with you guys.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is,
look at the handling sex at the right.
Right. So it's a final note on using the Shucked Oyster. While this supplement presents an entertaining brothel for use in your campaign, it is not intended for extensive roleplay of sexual encounters. Our design goal is to provide a jumping off point for fun and interesting adventures, not your personal kinks. For players that want to take the game in that latter direction, we can only humbly suggest that you try being normal. We realize this may be difficult for some of you.
Bravo. Yeah, you guys sent me the whole book, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll look at it, maybe later. And then I'm like, well, why can't I look at it now? So I started. That's one of the first things I read, and I'm like, oh shit, I already like it. Yeah, it's already one of my favorites.
It's really an interesting place to go. We can show you guys the menu that we've come up for the carousing inputs in a bit, but it's more about bumping into these wild characters, and there's 20 prostitutes that work there. There's 12 full patrons, fully fleshed out patrons. The patrons actually have larger write-ups than the prostitutes themselves. And there's so much going on under the surface. It's like anything you do is going to upset things, which is the point. And like, that's the thing, is like, we want to just create a bunch of chaos in town, because that's the stuff that I find the most fun in our games.
Because chaos means role play opportunities. It means situations that are going on. Are the players going to be interested? Maybe they will, maybe they won't be. But you have over 30 different people. Certainly the prostitutes are financially motivated to harass you and bother you and try and shake you down in either becoming or unbecoming ways, to make a quick buck.
Anybody who's ever been to a strip club understands, you
Oh, yeah.
you can just project it, man. The minute you walk in, you will have 3 women on you, like complimenting you, telling you how great you are, shit like that.
But these ladies, depending on what you do in town, because you're going to do like just innocuous things.
Yeah, you're going to build a reputation, just like your adventuring reputation.
Right, but it'll be applicable directly to only the prostitutes. So we have a mechanic that we called, it's the total oyster modifier. So it's basically the GM in secret keeps track of these different actions that your players take, and it contributes to bonuses or penalties to this running total that get applied to reaction rolls and to your carousing rolls at the oyster. So
that's like cool.
You can do things that are going to be totally unconnected in your mind to what's happening at the brothel, and you might come in and they'll like spit in your face, and be like, "Come on, you want it?" Or and then it's a lot of fun. It's crazy because a lot of it's really unanticipated. There's and it's tied into how you interact with like the patrons, and some of them it's like, every time you repeat the action, you get the bonus or penalty, so it's cumulative. And you don't get stuck with it though, because once you go carousing, that modifier, something you did during the night, changes their mind about you. You impress them or you offend them, and it flips it from positive to negative. So you're never stuck in a rut. And it's always like, whoa, I thought they hated me last time. Like, why are they like all over me now? It's crazy.
It's not only that. It's like, okay, I thought they really didn't like me. Then the next time we went there, well, they were a lot more amicable. But then the next time, well, they really don't like me.
Hate
now
me
they absolutely like me, because this thing it's flipping back and forth, and the reaction results, they're racing towards the tails of hatred or adoration.
Right.
Which is very funny.
There are some things in here that's like you get a +6 or a -6 on a reaction roll, so it's just guaranteed to like go one way or the other, because we didn't want it to be balanced at all. Like, we want it to be really weird.
Never be.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, the dungeons are also not balanced. Like, there's a couple of easy TPKs in there.
Oh yeah.
There
are things that make sense to be in this location. Whether you have a chance at whatever level you are is to be determined.
All right, we were playtesting this last weekend, and half the party died.
Oh, jeez.
It was awesome.
Let me pick up a couple of super chats. So first of all, Mercurius, thank you again for another membership. Very generous of you, my friend. Thank you so much. Patrick Demo, $2. He wants that kind of snark from his RPG. Bravo.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
We had another one for a 9-month member.
That's Hungar.
I'm trying to find
Hungar,
it.
9 months. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for always being there, Hungar. Yeah, go ahead and you can go down to the bottom.
I'm not seeing it.
What's that?
There it is. Man, this thing's moving so. Well, let's get Discos.
Yeah, there you go. Disco Barbarian, $5. Balance is for the battle between law and chaos only.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That's something I do really believe in. It's you should have a couple of maybe ones that are easier, almost cakewalks. Like, oh shit, that was easy. And then just have some that are just sorry. You want to keep doing this. You want to keep beating your head against the wall. This guy's not going away, or these things aren't going away.
Right. But the thing is, it's like even easy encounters, if you roll the dice in the open, they can you can just roll really terribly against weak enemies, and the weak enemies can roll really high, and you get completely annihilated by them. Or there's some massively challenging thing where that's reversed, So it's like, even if you plan content like that, it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, and I do. I forget what she calls it, but she has the optional rule. She gets rid of the 5e power nap for healing up. If you're gonna play Shadow Dark, I would. My personal preference would be to get rid of that and play kind of like cutthroat old school.
It's a deadly game. Like, you do not have very many hit points. You die very, very quickly. If you're not stabilized, like you basically, I think when you die, you roll I think it's a D4. And you have that's the number of rounds. If you're not stabilized, you die. And then certain enemies that we've made, if you get hit again, you're dead. You're dead. Yeah.
Second here. Yep. Pundit saying piece of work is people acting as though Shadow Dark invented reaction rules and random encounter tables.
Well, just like Pundit invented those. It's a mechanic from 50 fucking years ago, dude. Guy's a loser.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been around a while. Look, to be fair to Kelsey, she embraced it.
I mean, this is
that's
part
why
of
I certainly don't have a problem with it. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, this is what we were mentioning before. It's a lot of these old school tropes or mechanics have been really distilled down in a way which cuts away all of the dross and emphasizes what's really evocative and what's fun and interesting. Why it's stuck around for so long. Reaction rules are definitely one of them. And then, sort of implicitly through character advancement, this carousing activity, like really drilling into the thematic drive of someone who's living on the edge, maybe dead tomorrow, is not thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Live big, die fast, go out with a bang or don't. But go all in every day.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the astronauts in that movie with Bruce Willis.
I'm sorry.
The astronaut movie with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah,
it reminds me of that. Yeah, go out with a bang or-
Armageddon.
Yeah.
That's the oil drilling movie with Bruce Willis. It just takes place in space.
Uriah Grant Edwards, $4.99. People who complain about game balance are the kind of people who try to pet wild animals and are astounded they get mauled in the face. Oof.
Yeah. I mean,
very vivid there. Thank you.
It's not, well, that's a good point, though. It's not like that's not how the world works. The world's not balanced.
Yeah.
You get hit by a car. That's not a balanced encounter.
No matter how much money you made, no matter how much you worked out, if you go through the windshield, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a DM, you shouldn't be planning your encounters based on, okay, can they handle this or not?
It should be based on verisimilitude.
Yeah. And it's like, as a DM, maybe you always want to, if provided they haven't already worked themselves into a corner, give them the chance to run away. That's fine. But in the same respect, they should never walk into a place like, oh yeah, law of averages says, we should clean this place out, and we should, maybe we'll be a little nicked up, but we'll be fine. And it's like,
right,
it's not the way it should be.
Yeah.
Doc Flamingo, $5. Can you buy the brothel? Seems like a good retirement investment. Plus, I'd enjoy.
I don't know about
breaking out
that.
the old
I don't know if it's a
multi-class-
good retirement. It keeps burning down.
Yeah,
unless
I'm
you
not
take
sure
out some
anyone will
insurance
insure
money.
it. I don't know if they'll insure it though at this point.
They
you know.
definitely won't.
Yeah.
He wants to.
You could try. That's,
he wants to
that's
be a
definitely.
pimp.
Yeah.
Are there any pimps in the game?
Only Madam Vice.
Yes, the Madam.
Vise, by the way. But it's yeah.
So what would be funny is it is possible to convince her, but there are some interesting things going on. You may get way more than
way
you purchased.
more than you bargained for. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like two levels to that. You can play it above board and kind of just that could be your only interaction, and that could be as far as it goes, and you'll probably be perfectly satisfied. But look, if you guys go there a lot, you may discover things about some of the prostitutes or some of the Johns.
I think
that might lead to other things.
And that's the thing is, like, I think that people are when they read a lot of the characters, they're going to want to use these people in the game. So we obviously encourage people to come up with their own encounters and bring them those characters in.
Yeah.
Because they're very, very interesting. And the other thing is, it's like, it does have this dark comedy aspect to it, but it's also got some really serious stuff in it.
Yeah, the deeper you go, again, if your players are interested in that, if they bite on any of these hooks, which are there, there's a whole lot more than sort of a wacky, zany, place of fun and seduction.
Yeah, it's and there's a lot of really fun stuff in it too, because every time that it burns down, we have a couple of linked tables that it's like you have to find out, okay, what actually caused the fire.
Yeah.
In our game, it's been they purposely burned it down one time, but
it could be you.
But it
even
could
if
be,
you've never been there before.
Even if you've never been there before, it's possible that you started the fire somehow. Through like
Smoking
a weird
in bed or
butterfly,
something.
yeah, just like a butterfly effect sort of thing. But then it's also, you have to see after what caused the fire, you have to roll and see who's the town actually blaming this time.
Yes,
and there is a potential that they're blaming either a prostitute or a patron, and so then you have to find out who
or
that
possibly
is.
also a couple of other people who are mentioned at a more top level and are sort of these are blank spaces in the map,
right,
quote unquote, for the GM to flesh out if they want to.
Yeah, and so it's every time that it burns, something else is happening, and then depending on who's getting blamed, that also changes how like the total oyster modifier is modified and whatnot, and like all sorts of it's a lot of fun.
What do you do about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Right.
Do you take part? Do you help put the fire out? Do you help rebuild it? Do you not?
And it's just so much fun.
James Gang for $2. Freaking story gamers. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, we are to the theater kids. We are the turbo grognards, and to the grognards, we are the ultimate theater kids.
My philosophy is, good gaming. I've done this for 30 years straight since 1991. Well, over 30 years. And a good game has a little bit of all that stuff, all the stuff that one side says it can't be this, it's got to be this other thing, and vice versa. And it's like, my view is, it's a little bit of everything. It really is. Nothing wrong with a little bit of theater. If you're at a good point in your adventure scenario, or somebody's just got a wild hair up their ass and they're feeling they just got like it that night and they want to make a speech or recite some poetry. That man, you don't shut them down and say, well, okay. Well, it's like, no, you lean into it.
Right.
Jeff from Denkar, $5 Canadian. What do you think was the most important thing you learned about game or book development while working on the Shucked Oyster? Thank you, Jeffrey.
I think I can answer that. And this is the sort of answer that I think most people would expect of us. And it's not a joke. We learned that we were right all along. That was, that was basically it. In terms of like actual game design itself, we're not making a game from scratch. So this was something we leaned very, very heavily on the procedures in the Shadow Dark core rulebook. There's a lot there, like the whole idea of like how carousing works in Shadow Dark. We've added our one modifier on top of that to swing your results, but that's all there already. So I think if I was giving advice to someone on who wants to make an adventure or something like that, is pick a good game and pick a good game that you like already. Because that was something we didn't want to start with, like trying to make our own game from scratch, because we didn't want it to suck. We wanted to. So we're leaning very, very heavily on a very, very good game already. But we've got so much experience in the way that we like to run games and the kinds of adventures that we enjoy, that we were just like, we want to make the product that we want to play, you know. I don't want just a dungeon. I want a whole lot more on that. I want something that's going to get my creative juices flowing and gives me some blank spaces to fill in on my own, but gives me a compelling idea to start with.
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Nick.
I mean, we've talked about this previously elsewhere, where regardless of game system, regardless of genre, you mentioned earlier, the connection between Shadow Dark and more explicitly like OSR type products. Whatever you're doing, it really is the case that characters are first. NPCs and human interactions and motivations are the foundation of anything that's interesting. You could make the most balanced or mechanically engaging or labyrinthine dungeon. If it's completely devoid of any context or connection or life,
who cares?
Maybe you'll have fun one time. You're just experiencing the fun house, but it's not going to be interesting, and your players really will not remember it or have any reason to go there other than an out-of-game reason to get, there might be, this looks like a big place. Maybe it has, big time XP in it.
Well said. I tell you what, let me just clean up a couple super chats
of course.
here before we get too far behind.
Sure.
Uriah Grant Edwards for $1.09 wins Double D, getting his Biden AI voice for donos. We'll let Matt and Nick take.
Yeah, we have an exclusionary contract with
President
Joe
Biden.
Yeah.
Lasercat 006, $5. Thank you so much. Did I miss updating Gary's random harlot encounter table discussion? Keep up the great work, guys. Can't wait for the Kickstarter.
Thank you, man.
August 6th. Wednesday.
Yes, August 6th for the Kickstarter.
Yeah. August 6th. Yep. There you go. And I think we got a.
Let's get rid of that one.
We got that. Wiley.
Nah, just ignore that one. Double D.
All right. All right.
Done.
Should have paid more. No.
All right. So when you guys are sitting down to do this, do you have like an assignment of work? I mean, when you're planning this, like, hey, I'm going to write the horrors, I'm going to write the Johns, or I'm going to do the dungeons. Like, how do you guys like work together?
Honestly, every once in a while, we'll be like,
one of us will have an idea.
You take 3, and we'll work on these independently, and and it always ends up that we don't actually end up writing anything independently. We come up with a couple with like the ideas, and then but honestly, like the entire thing, essentially, except for maybe like the very beginning, we've sat there and wrote down together. And this is how we write our videos. Like everything that we do together is like always so much better than anything we do independently.
Exactly. Doing it together would be much better than anything either of us would have individually.
Right.
Okay. James Gang, $5. What if a working girl did a fetus delete us? Now the Lumencheck periodic is back with a vengeance. Oof. Well, you want to?
Sounds like not your problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hit that 20. Hit the $20 one. Crazy Mouse. Go ahead. All All right. Thank you so much, Wiley.
I paid more.
All right. Thank you.
There you
Thank
go.
you for your service. Yeah.
Matt Barninger, $1.99. The salt must flow. Okay.
And hopefully it
There you go.
shall.
The salt mine is in, I don't know, full effect. I don't know. I don't know why people get so like we had something happen over the weekend. You know, I understand people getting emotional over that.
Of course.
I would get you know, I of course get emotional over that. But
Sure.
Just games like this. I mean, let's just, if people are making good stuff, let's just all like just get behind each other, even if it's not, you know, maybe, you know, your particular taste. Let's just get behind
good
people
stuff
who
is
are
good.
working on good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's that you could. I've read through this. Trust me, you could put this thing in any
game system.
Yeah, any system that you want.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too, because it's like people get very hung up on system dependence, and in some cases that makes sense because there are some games that are very, very different than like D&D or something like that. But like we said, like the meat of this product really is in the weird character relationships and the goals and the motivations and the machinations of what's going on. And so there is some like the mechanics are very much tied to Shadow Dark. Like it's not a problem, but something when I've been running it in Axe, the treasure tables are just very, very different. And so I have to come up with the Axe treasure while we're playing to find out what's the substitution there. But
it's no different than had you had to roll them anyway
in Axe. Yeah.
Right.
So but the thing is, it's like if you know how to role play and if you find the idea interesting, you can use it in anything. You can adapt almost any game to any game.
Yeah, and that's to me the sign of a good product.
Or at least
Chris
the
Miller,
idea, because that's the thing. You can change things too. Like you don't have to.
Sure.
You know.
You want to add in. You want to add an NPC, or this is so cool. The idea of a wild and crazy brothel. I'm going to add more prostitutes.
More prostitutes.
There's an NPC.
We encourage you to do that.
Yeah, in my game that my NPCs have really hooked to. Okay, he's gonna start going.
He's a patron.
To the oyster.
Or you can even swap out patrons that it's like it just makes more sense that this person from my campaign would be in there, and that's totally fine. You can use this essentially any way you want. As long as you're role playing, that's the only thing. If you're not, then you're doing it wrong.
Chris Miller, $5. I love the idea of a brothel as the adventure starting point or safe house between adventure.
I wouldn't call this one a
tavern
safe.
to the next level.
This ain't no safe house.
Yeah.
Uriah back again with $1.99. Why can't we be friends? I spent the first 2 years of my YouTube career asking that. Now I'm just like, you know, boys will be boys, and I'm not in the middle of it. You know, you guys want to fight? That's fine. Victor, good to see you.
Is there
Victor.
a fight going on? Am I missing this? We have it on full screen, so we can't see the comments.
Don't bother. It's full speed ahead. Hold on, go back to that. Go back to Victor.
We encourage you all to fight each other viciously and end your friendships over this stream.
Yeah, please do. Yes. That's what I want. Victor goes, Shadow Dark is the best thing since Macwaheedle. I am very much looking forward to getting John's Macwaheedle.
Yeah, I've got the print on demand. I can't wait to get the hardcover. That is,
I've got
print on demand is already really good.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, I've taken a look at it. I'm like, I just want the book in my hand so I can kind of look at it, you know. But I remember I had him on when he was going through the, you know, his Kickstarter, and that just seems like a real interesting, great one-shot game.
Yeah,
it's because I was thinking about it. Like that game is so it's very interesting because John has a very different perspective on games and game design than we do. Like he's very much more interested in like what do the rules produce, what sort of an experience does that produce. But the setting that he made is so compelling, and it's all tied into the mechanics. But it's like I'm like, this is like role play heaven. I'm like,
yeah,
exactly.
You made a game for me.
So
and Basic Expert did do our cover.
Yeah, he did our cover as well as
which looks great. As you can see
the art for one of our legendary monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was like the cover. It was exactly what we described, and I was so happy when I got it.
James Gang, $5. So one of these guys going to do some baptism of fire adventures and content. Probably not very soon.
Yeah,
but I will say, you know, as much as like Mac Mojito like this, I love Baptism of Fire too.
Yeah.
You know, Chris did a great job producing it. I thought Pundit did a fantastic job writing it.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean. It's
on
like,
the cover. Is that Madam Wise right there?
Yes,
it is.
What-
Yeah.
Yep.
Surrounded by some babes.
choice whores.
Yeah. And as you can see, there's two other people coming through the flames here, which might lead you to believe that there's something more to this than it just being a brothel.
Might be. Certainly have a life. Do you guys want to go through a little bit more?
Yeah,
absolutely. PDF. I don't know what we don't want to spoil anything. So if you guys want to get it to a point,
sure. Yeah, we can spoil some stuff as well. Because the thing is, like, the people who are going to benefit the most
asking to see the cover. Double D.
What's that?
People are asking to see the cover. Can you put you guys on the side?
Yeah.
If you bring up the PDF, I can.
Yeah, we can share.
I can just share the
cover.
We'll have the cover there.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah. So this is it. We wanted something that was, invoked Frazetta. This is the brothel having just burned to the ground. Madam Vice, you know, this old broad who's always smoking cigars and yelling at the women, you know, get back to work. She's stepping over it with her thick, meaty thighs and meaty calves, surrounded by babes crying with their mascara, and the two kind of competing monstrous forces coming through the flames in the background. This is the core of this is the vision of the game, basically. Is add this. We have the demonic monkey and a vampire. It's awesome.
I love it. North of the Rockies for $10. Thank you. Very, very generous of you. I want to teach the world. Furnace. Thank you very much. I won't butcher that. I appreciate the sentiment too. Let's everybody try to behave. And
Someone, you want to give a quick shout out to your artist? Someone's asking about the artist.
Yeah, this is John Torres, the basic expert. You can follow him on YouTube as well as on Twitter. He makes incredible games and is an amazing artist, and his rates are very affordable. So it's like this was absolutely so worth it.
Yeah,
and
he
also,
does great work.
oh damn it! And Patty messaged me earlier. Patty's Parlor is also doing some art for the ladies of the Oyster, as well.
The interiors,
yeah, it's going to be great because right now you'll see as we kind of scroll through it, there is some placeholder art, but we have something like 100. Almost 100 pieces in it now, and we're adding more. This version's a little bit out of date, but a lot of it is stock art that from a lot of the artists that worked on Shadow Dark, as well as some others. There's a guy who did like this piece right here, Dean Spencer, on Drive Through RPG, has a ton of
huge gallery of stock art.
Yeah,
it's really
huge
good.
gallery, and it's all really good. He's got full color stuff, black and white, so you don't have to use AI if you don't want to. This is a placeholder piece at the moment here, but we got our drunk Father O'Malley, who's a rather important character. But yeah, we can go through real quick. This is a section that's being revised a bit, but basically kind of like there's a couple of different states that you can find the oyster in.
Right.
You know, it's like, is it on fire right now when the players see it? And depending on what you do, you help or hinder it. You just sit back and watch the glorious blaze. That's already going to give like the total
ladies
oyster
will not be
modifier. They
appreciative.
will not be appreciative. And there's in a lot of these, you have opportunities where you're going to have to roll on other tables. But then we get to like the causes of the blaze. You know, we have a D10 table there with explanations for each entry and what are the consequences involved in these. Who gets blamed is a lot of fun because this is an easy way to just get to know, you know, it's like, okay, I got to roll on this table for a prostitute. I got to go find them and see who's there.
We're getting like result 8, the town blames you.
Oh yeah. Or my
what
favorite.
did I do?
Yeah, exactly. Blames you. And so this thing too is that the explanation for the fire is almost never going to link up with the actual cause of the fire.
Yeah.
So it's it's awesome. I love that. There's also one where like the town blames themselves. And it's like, you know, society contributed to the conditions that allowed the oyster to burn once again and blah blah blah. It's very funny. At least I do. I think it's funny.
It is funny.
James for $2, CYKA. I think that stands for something.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. Chris Miller, $5. I love it. Reminds me of the kind of indie supplements back in the 80s. Yeah, absolutely. In spirit, absolutely. You know, it may not look like it, but yeah, that's kind of the impression I get.
Yeah. Oh, this is another point on the what do you learn from game design? It's also copy someone who has a good layout, because it made laying this out much easier to have a template, basically, not a literal template to use, but that's something a format to follow. And the Shadow Dark license is very permissive, and they're like, you want to make it look like the book? That's fine. They're like, don't use the literal black heading images we used, but they're like, you can use all the fonts, you can make the same style. And it's all good. So yeah, this is kind of our alternate carousing table. We have the menu here. It follows the exact same mechanical format as the one in the core rulebook. We've just, instead of the descriptions of vendors that you can go on,
the oyster,
we have every single prostitute here is accounted for with what their own specialty here, and how much you pay adds to a bonus on this roll. So you roll 1d8, and it basically determines how much experience you get. If you get pulled in some other way, you get a lead about someone, or someone becomes an ally. But this is also affected by the total oyster modifier. So you could add, 1800 GP to get a +6 bonus on this roll, but you might have a -8 total oyster modifier, and you still end up getting turned to stone by the prostitute, who's definitely not a Medusa.
Careful when you book that orgy room, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Disco Barbarian, $2. Chat makes me hope the oyster has a fighting pit. Ooh, I don't know. Don't know if it does. But you could put it in there if you wanted to.
You could get the 2-for-1 special.
Have Sister Agnes and
Bronwyn
the dwarf
beat the fuck out of you. Yeah.
Lord Mattias, $2. It works great with Solo Dark. He loves it.
Yeah, and thank you
Lord
so
Mattias.
much for helping play test, man. You gave us
looking
some
forward
awesome
to
feedback.
meeting you too. I'll be meeting Lord Mattias and
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, say hi to him for us. But yeah, then we've got our D100 encounter table, same format as Shadow Dark. As stretch goals, we may expand this and make more of these, but that'll just depend. We'll have to see how things go. But there's a lot of really funny stuff. Like my favorite one is 85, where this character Ulrich the Despoiler is physically thrown out of a first floor window, and Ulrich is possibly my favorite character. He's my second favorite character. I know.
He's my second favorite character.
He's my second favorite character. This guy did something. He made a minor social faux pas
15
years ago, and no one ever forgave him. And so they put holy
religious
symbols,
charms,
religious charms above their door to ward off the despoiler and all this stuff. And so anytime that your players help this guy, you get a penalty to the bomb, because the whores hate him so much.
It's a small price to pay for the redemption of Ulrich. Let's just
say.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more to Ulrich than that. So it's not. There's not quite a spoiler. Yeah. You've got for number 1 and for number 100. Mungo Borlov is a vampire who's like 1,000 years old, who just woke up recently from sleep and is in love with someone at the Shucked Oyster. So he's always coming down there, and he's a legendary monster, so you can just run into him on the street.
What's up? Hey, is that Aled, $5. I can't stop saying it. Double D and BLG here to regulate. Guys, ready?
There's
mount up. Thank you, Aled. I love this. I do love this table.
It's so fun. Yeah. And I'm hoping we hit the stretch goals, because I want to make more of them. And we might edit this a little bit. There's a couple that I think could be juiced up a bit. But it's a lot of fun, and it's super easy to you put this in, the slums or the artisan district. Just use this table instead of your regular one, and then you're pulling them into the adventure that way. And yeah, the characters are just so great. Yeah, this is our list of deviants and malcontents, which includes, of course, Mungo Borlov, the vampire. He's definitely not a vampire. Definitely not a vampire.
Definitely not.
But there's
most hated man in town. There he is.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters in here that some of them are kind of almost explicitly goofy, but there's a lot of none of them are all explicitly goofy. Even Ulrich has some stuff going on, but
even Ulrich, everybody does have depth. Now, if you just meet him once and don't
interact with him, Because that's
Maybe.
the thing too. It's like there are dungeons in here, and there's things that you can do in town that kick off kind of timers,
Right.
Where things will happen, and your players aren't going to know what caused it. But it's like it's non-linear. Like you can, in one of the dungeons we had, getting to kind of one of the final rooms. It's like we had 4 kind of scenarios, I think, that were like, these are things that could likely have happened before you get here, but it's really going to depend on your players. So use your judgment when stalking this room. But here's guidance for these kind of situations.
Chris Miller at $1. Thank you so much, Chris, for the donation. We have James Gang, $2. How much for a Mississippi crab dangle?
Oh God,
that's all you're ordering off the menu there.
Yeah,
James. Snako Sean, 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Sean. Always
Oh, and
appreciate your generosity. One more here. We'll go. Chris, $2.
Candygram from Blazing
Candygram from
Saddles
Mungo.
reference.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Any Blazing Saddles reference. Good.
Yeah, when we were playing this over the weekend, one of our actually it was a previous to this week, one of our players when they got to the brothel was immediately like, I'll just work here. Because she's playing a chthonic witch. Yeah, and Madam Vice is like, all right, I take 90% of what you 90% of your earnings. She's like 87, she's sold. You know?
You get the potion of Drano poured down your throat if you
right.
I imagine. Jasper Cunningham.
Yeah, he's Jasper Cunningham is kind of the local merchant and loan shark and kind of leader of the Thieves Guild. And so obviously that's a secret for your players. But he's got deals with Madam Vice where basically every time this place burns down, it's like, how does she fund the reconstruction? Even though it's like this ramshackle piece of garbage thing. Well, it turns out that, there's a Thieves Guild operating underneath it, and they start robbing people after it burns down and possibly your players. But we've got let me see here. Gaston the Righteous is one of the
most
best,
badass.
the most badass, most masculine characters.
Yeah,
ever.
the same player who's playing that chthonic witch.
Yeah, this was the moment.
Has
so Gaston.
This is so great.
Gaston is a level 10 fighter. He solos dungeons because it's gay and like you can't be brave if you have
help.
backup.
Yeah, if you have backup, or if you use ranged weapons.
Yeah,
if you use anything other than a sword,
that's lame.
Like are you even a man?
Yeah, are you even a man at that point? So he has very high standards for who he interacts with. So if you're a woman and you try to talk to him and you don't have an 18 charisma, you're just beneath him. And if you're a man and you don't have an 18 strength, you're just beneath him. And so our chthonic witch had a 17 charisma, natural 17 charisma.
Yeah, she wanted to talk to him.
Went to his room. Went to his room at the inn. And he opens the door and he goes, no. And he closes the door. And the player, not the character, the player went, what? And is now obsessing about how to raise her charisma so this character will give her the time of day. Now, what she doesn't know is that if she does have a natural 18 of charisma, Gaston is going to decide this is the woman for me and never leave her alone. He cannot be dissuaded. Yeah. And he will do things to impress her, like going to, the next dungeon that she's about to delve and kill all the monsters before she gets there. You don't get any experience. There's no treasure left. He's just like, hey, I stacked up all the heads. Isn't that awesome?
Sounds like a guy in our campaign.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And he's got this talking magic sword called Coward's Bane, who's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love Gaston.
Two Giga Chad yes guys.
Yeah, just like it's a monster. Should we kill it? Yes. Yep.
Matt Thompson gave us a stripper dollar donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very apropos. I think we have another one here too. Oh yeah, there we go. Disco Barbarian Gaston is right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
right.
Gatekeep your women. Yeah, there you go. $2.
Barnaby Fumblebutter is the town's baker. Though he secretly, everyone loves his cakes so much, and they just give everyone such great feelings of goodness, and no one knows why. But if you ask him, he'll tell you the secret ingredient
is love.
Obviously.
Obviously.
But there's another secret ingredient, which is that he has this like celestial cow,
This
immortal cow called the Solibovis. It's like twice the size of a regular cow,
pure white,
just it creates this magical milk that he churns into this magical butter.
Yes.
And he he feeds it to the town, and it does have it's an actual magic item,
Right.
the butter of bliss. But there's something going on there too. It's the butter of bliss is the only thing keeping
the social cohesion
the
together.
social cohesion of the town itself depends on this man's cakes. So if something happens to him, things get really bad really quick.
James Gang, $2. This whole product sounds amazing. It does indeed.
That's
I'll
awesome.
tell you
Thank you
guys,
so much, man. Yeah.
The don't undersell the effect some of these NPCs could have on your campaign. Like if I were to say the name Cully to these two,
yes.
you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Cully.
Yeah, Cully was just some old wino, probably
Yeah.
gay guy who would go out and just kind of suck people off for a silver piece. But they loved him. Like he was like a fixture at the Crummy Crab. God rest his soul. Died many moons ago. But everybody, they go to the Crummy Crab and they'd be like, first question is Cully here? I want to buy Cully a drink.
Yeah.
What's Cully up to?
Yeah.
So it's like these weird NPCs, literally I probably at some point just wrote a name down like, okay, Cully, like, what is he like? Oh, well, he's just some old timer, looks a little down on his luck, might take one in the chops for, a silver piece or two. And it's like, it gets a life of its own. And that's why, that's how you get people or NPCs that everybody remembers.
Right.
After
Exactly.
so long.
Cromworth.
$5. Wiley, I'll buy the oyster. Might go good with a campaign set around VDL Mungers.
VDL Mungers? I don't know what that is.
I'm going to assume that's a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah.
Good with Karen. Thank you very much, Wiley. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
It's,
continue. If
oh,
you
yeah.
I don't know how much more you want to spoil. Certainly, I know you don't want to spoil the second half. This is kind of like the
These are the NPCs you can run into.
Yeah, these are the this is the above the board. If you just wanted to play this and be like, hey, this is the brothel in town,
right?
Without delving too much further into it, I mean, there's some depth you can plumb here. But then later on, there's probably a lot more depth you can.
Yeah. The thing is, we haven't had much of an opportunity to like talk about these characters. And it's like it's the best part of the book in my opinion. But it's like this guy Cromworth Barleystein is a true villain. He's the worst. No redeeming qualities, whatever. His wife divorced him and left him, took the kids because he was whoring at the Shucked Oyster. Every decision he's ever made, everything in his life, it's always been his fault. Like he tried to throw himself into his work after his wife left him
for about a week.
But he doesn't have a very good work ethic, so that didn't work out. And so then now he's in love with one of the ladies at the Oyster, this prostitute named Svetlana, and she's like the most toxic, evil woman.
Whispering it, you're not good enough for if you just made more money.
Yeah, I can see why your wife left you. Like
why your wife left you,
and she's ruining his life, and there's some really funny shit. Yeah, it's the dangers of zipping. It's he has some funny thing where it's like he's like basically like this time it's going to be different.
If this time it's going to be
I'm
different.
going to do the right thing as a man and provide Svetlana
with the unrealistic lifestyle.
Chris Miller says he'll buy that for $1. Actually, he'll buy that for $2.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
RoboCop is 37 years old today.
Look at who's here. Our buddy James from Neckbeardia. Good to see you, James. Staying up late tonight over there in Ireland. Can Fleece Johnson be added?
I don't know who that is, but it's your campaign. Once you buy the book, it's yours.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many pages? Flint asked how many pages, and it's about 200, right?
Almost 200. Yeah.
Yep.
By the end, it will be 200. I think we're at like 185 or 190 right now. This is an older, a little bit out of date, but almost 200 pages.
Do you want to spoil the price for the hardback version, or do you want to wait till the Kickstarter for that?
I think we can talk about it now.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
So
what you're thinking, I guess.
I think what we set it at is.
I think for the.
I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it. I think the hardback is $29.99, and that includes the PDF with it.
Yes.
$30.
There's no option to not get the PDF.
Yep.
You guys are underselling yourself.
200
man.
pages
I
for
paid
$30.
I paid 40 to 50 for that.
That was a joke. It's definitely more expensive.
It's $100.
Back to the drawing board. It's pretty smooth there. Holy shit. This is 200 pages.
Oh, but the caveat on that. Let me. We are going to be fulfilling through drive-through, and so we're doing the option where it's $29.99 for the hardback and the PDF, and you get the PDF through drive-through, and then drive-through issues you a code
Like a
where you
rebate
get
code.
it's like you pay for an at-cost print of it, so it's just whatever it costs for them to print, and you have to pay shipping on that. So that's one of the reasons that's a lower. Yeah, that's one of the reasons it's a lower price, because it's just we had to do that to keep the costs down, and we wanted to keep it down for you guys.
We wanted to keep it down. It's our first.
The PDFs go out.
Yes,
so you'll be able to use it immediately. And then depending on stretch goals, if we have more stuff to add to it, you're still going to get that PDF immediately. And then as
get a
that
revised
is,
PDF.
you'll get a revised. And then once it's fully finished with any other backer content and everything like that, then we'll have to go through the proofing process for the physical. And once we have a physical copy that we are satisfied with, we'll release that to everybody else.
Right.
Before you get to that super chat, Double D.
Yeah.
Someone asked if there's going to be a soft cover.
Yes. There will be
Okay.
PDF, softcover, and hardcover version.
There you go.
Damn.
Mhm.
Now hit that up.
This is gonna. I think this is gonna go like hotcakes. James,
I
Gang,
really hope
$5.
so.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like a typical Russian mail order bride.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
James.
more going on with Svetlana as well.
Yeah, from Denkar, Canadian $5. Given your experience with this, what do you plan on doing differently on your inevitable next project? Have you already learned some tough lessons on this one that you're gonna avoid next time? Thank you, Jeffrey.
Do we have any issue sharing what we think the next
Oh no.
couple things are
yeah,
going to be?
we can go.
So, our next project, which we've just spoken about before on our Thursday live streams, is not going to be a Shadow Dark product. It's going to be a sort of different tone. It's going to be a sort of in-world, in-lore resource for golems. How do people in a fantasy world, or this particular fantasy world, make them? Why is that? What is the actual in-game process of sort of doing that to give you all sorts of adventure hooks and ideas? It's all going to be centered around a particular organization, a particular faction. So this is all coming from this in-world group's perspective. And again, you can drop it into any system, and then likely
that will be made for Mithras Imperative, most likely, because that's the open version of the game. But but that's a BRP RuneQuest, that family of games.
Yeah.
It actually was RuneQuest.
D100,
before the license got pulled back to Chaosium. But that'll be the basis of the system. But even with like hit points and stuff like that, that's such an easy thing to move to any D&D game.
Yeah.
So that's going to have a more serious tone. And then after that, we will be returning to Shadow Dark.
Make the Shucked Oyster expanded universe.
The Shucked Oyster expanded universe, which is going to include... well, I can just say it. There's Mungo Borlov, the vampire, who you can see, right above my head on the stream. It'll be his kind of region and castle, and it's going to be a very big module.
There's already the Shucked Oyster. There's already a lot.
There's a lot of hooks
seeded about what's going on with him, his history, and what he's dealing with now. And then the next Shadow Dark project will focus on his region and the people in his sphere.
Right. And
I give you credit for doing both, being able to like step aside, because obviously I think this Golem project is probably seems like it's a bit of a passion, because I know you mentioned it even before all this.
That was the first thing that we were like, we started writing that, and then then we made that video, and we're like, we got to make the Shucked Oyster first, because it was this was just like it's like that fire kicked off where it was like, oh, I got to work on this right now. And we have poured our hearts and souls into this thing, but that's also given us a lot more time to be thinking about this Golems thing, and
Yeah, it's going
the
to be
idea
so
has
good.
crystallized a lot more. So I'm so fucking pumped for that one too.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
for it. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Right. But I
Is that
would say
going to be out in 2024, or do you think it'll be 2025?
I think it'll be out in 2024.
Through
Or wait a
goals?
minute. We're in 2024.
Yeah, probably 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
but early.
we'll try.
Yeah. We'll try for 2024, but then again, it's like you don't want to mess with Christmas and things like that.
That's
so
true.
It'll kind of just
We're going to
depend.
be working on it hard once once this Kickstarter is done. We'll say that.
And to answer that last question, the other thing that we've learned is that if you want to make a product kind of like this one, where it is this kind of network of NPCs and everything like that, it's very easy to make things way too complicated, because we realized at one point with one of the characters that we had made an assumption that really complicated things. We're like, oh shit, this is like a massive logical hole here.
Yeah, there's like an inconsistency.
Yeah, there's
here.
an inconsistency, and we were like beating our heads against the wall for like 2 days. Like, how do we fix this? And it was like we're adding more and more and more wheels within wheels with it, and we're like, this. Do we have
This
to
is getting
scrap
too bloated.
this?
This is getting too convoluted.
And then we were like, what if we just brought this back to like high school politics, or like high school relationships? And that instantly solved it. And the thing is, you never really leave high school. And so if you just bring things back to pettiness and jealousy and things like that,
it never go wrong.
Yeah, like that solves so many problems. Yeah.
Roy Goodman, $20.
$20,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Roy. Much appreciated.
Hey, Thraxis.
Hey, what's happening, man?
That's right. He's a
thank you.
regular
We're
on your
looking
channel.
forward
and
to sending it out to you guys.
Yeah, and we're not sure if we'll be at LongCon, but if we are, we should definitely play.
Yes.
Thank you, Thraxis. Much appreciated. But I don't know. I'm actually kind of pumped too that you're going to return and expand we'll call it the Oysterverse.
Yeah,
I guess.
the Oysterverse. Yeah,
the Oysterverse.
I like that.
It's possible it could eventually spawn a campaign setting, but it probably will, because it's like this one. It's like we're just
already
doing
have
this one thing,
a
and
bunch
then
of
it's like
different
it
things in
expanded to this thing, and now it's like this other one. We're like, we're just gonna do this one region, So
Well, I think by two, three if you count, maybe the one unrelated, but after 3 projects, people probably end up. I'm not going to go out on much of a limb, but I'm going to say these are probably going to be successful because you guys are just successful guys.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously it's up to you guys in the chat to make it happen. Please go to the Kickstarter site.
Please check out the Kickstarter.
It starts August 6th.
August 6th. And
put that reminder. Sign up for the reminder.
Yeah, mark your
I'll
calendar. Sign up for the reminder. Yeah, because it's the Kickstarters it's like make or break on the first day, basically. So
Yeah.
backing as early as possible for us would help us tremendously.
Well, August 6th you said it's a Tuesday?
Correct. Yeah.
We'll be on air on that Wednesday, so we can mention it August 7th.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
For you as well.
We'll definitely shout it out.
Yeah, that would be huge. We'd appreciate that.
Yep. For sure. And of course, we'd love to have you back on. And look, anytime
you
want
to talk to
me.
Anytime you want to come on our show, man. Yeah.
You guys did it. You guys are doing it the right way. I mean, you built an audience because you're pretty talented as far as like making interesting content on YouTube. Everybody knows that's how you get an audience who's interested in you as people. And then they're like, oh, well, what do these guys, what's their take on gaming? I want to see what they produce. That's the way to do it. And you guys are really making all the right moves there. Uriah Grant Edwards, $4.99. Thoughts on a bearded lady who's called the Virgin until you realize,
well,
I said Furchin.
well,
she'd have to compete with the other
bearded woman.
other bearded prostitute of the Oyster,
who is the opal of the oyster, not the pearl. Yeah, opal is the most highly in demand prostitute. She has a beautiful feminine beard, and Patty's Parlor is drawing her right now. And the pose he came up with, was like nothing I never would have thought of. It was so good. I was just like, oh my God, this is perfect. So I can't wait to be able to share some of that with you guys. And I Patty, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. I saw your message, but I was doing stuff like I was juggling things and then I didn't get back to it. But it's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah. A dwarf stream.
Dwarf stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if people are willing to take the ride with you, I think eventually it'll culminate in, at least some kind of a source book setting book or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Probably, yeah. If
think big.
Yeah, definitely. If people like
but,
it,
but start small, I would say.
Yeah,
because you don't like it.
The worst thing is biting off more than you can chew and
Biting off
having
way
like
more, you know.
Yeah, and having like a debacle on your hands.
Right.
James Gang, $2. Would this be hard to use in Baptism of Fire?
This would be very easy to use.
It's very easy to use in any old school
OSR.
game.
So I'm sure
Yeah.
Baptism of Fire, like Lion and Dragon, uses
Reaction rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And on maybe make the women a little bit more dour because we're talking about Poland here. Trust me, I'm married to a Polish woman. You know, I know like the Polish like mindset and all that.
Polish mother-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's more the mother-in-law. Yeah, as much as I love her. Hungar the Starvarian, $2. I would hit that. Ooh,
I would say though on the Baptism of Fire thing, if that is going to be a little more realistic, this is surreal. There's weird demons and stuff in it that might not fit in a historical setting.
But yeah, it's baptism is it's historical fiction, so there are things you could lean. Look, you may have to switch, some of the monsters for maybe some of the ones you'd find in the Baptism of Fire core book. I really I think you could do it.
But
look,
again,
if you're
that's like
a
we said
good
earlier, it's
DM,
easy.
you can make it work. Yeah.
If you have a brain, you can swap things out in games.
Look, you're dealing with the world's oldest profession in a and they're gathered together in a house that prostitutes have always been in
right
since however long ago,
the beginning of time.
So it's a very universal concept. So you can absolutely make it work. Even the story behind the story, I think will work in something like Baptism Fire or anything, even like Birthright or something like that.
100%.
A very traditional setting. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a like a typical like Shadow Dark setting. Well, anything else you guys want to say before we let you go?
No, I don't think so. Just thank you so much for having us on, everybody.
Yeah,
please,
we really appreciate it.
Sign up to get notified for the Kickstarter launching August 6th. It's going to be great, and it's been great being on here. And we got more videos coming out. That's basically it.
Yep.
yeah. I'm sure you guys are probably all subscribed over there. But Black Lodge Games on YouTube, obviously. Make sure you're signed up for notifications because you don't want to miss when they.
Congratulations on your guys' success.
Oh, thank you so much.
Man. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's really hard. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, people think it's eesy. It's like
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't know. It's like sometimes you'll talk to like YouTubers, and I want to be friends with everybody, but it's like you'll talk to some, and it's like they don't want to put in like the work, like just basic editing stuff, or just try to spruce up your background, or just find someone successful and just try to take what you can from them. You guys obviously did.
And just try to be better on each one. That's the thing. Because it's incremental. Like we've learned a ton. We're always learning more. Every single time we release a video, it's like, how's this going to do? Like, did we make it better? Did we make some huge mistake that we're not seeing yet? So you never know. But
I'm glad you guys weren't afraid to
it.
admit, like, look, don't be afraid to script your videos. Like,
get
your thoughts laid
you should
out.
script your videos.
100% should script your videos.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing that pretty much since after my first like 5 or 6. I'm like, all right, I can't be going because I was going through my editing software and I was taking out every
and it takes forever.
I'm like, good Lord, I'm like, just freaking bite the bullet, script it, and learn how to kind of read it.
Yeah,
like
even if you don't have like an and an problem, if you can sort of speak from the cuff well, it's so much better to script your videos out, because having a firm, like thinking and writing out beforehand, not only what the topic of what you're speaking about, but how you're sort of going to channel it and from what angle you're going to deliver the information is hugely important. Even if you're an expert in something or you're really passionate about something and can speak well for, an hour, if you're trying to do a video that's short and you're trying to make a particular point, even if you know everything and can speak perfectly, you necessarily have to tailor and cut what
You can't waste the audience's time. You're competing for people's attention.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm trying, because it's one thing of course I learned going along too. So sometimes I would, have like bigger intros, even in, you do it in live streams because you need people to get
you
there,
need people to come in. Yeah.
But if you're doing it in a video, oh my God, like people will tune you out like so fast.
Yeah.
You'll see that that graphic.
Yeah,
where
catastrophic line, straight line down on the retention graph.
A third of the people are now watching after 5 seconds. So
Yeah.
It's like it's such a different, if you want to speak off the cuff, just do live stream.
Do live stream.
Yeah.
And you can do both, and you should.
Yeah.
Because that's also like what got us a lot of our, like the watch time requirements before getting monetized and everything like that was from live streams, because people stick around for longer and whatnot. So it's and then you get to meet cool people. Yeah. It's I would do both. Definitely live stream and make videos.
Yeah. Videos will, it's like I have to tell this to people too, but it's like, oh, well, I don't have the subscribers. I don't have the subscribers. It's like I do live streams all the time. It's like, well, YouTube doesn't want you to do live streams all the time. They will punish you for that. It's like you need to make canned content.
Yeah, you need content.
It's got to be good.
Yeah, exactly. They want your stuff to be seen, and the thing is, your videos going wider will make more people come to your live streams.
Right.
Yes.
Like that's the more you get more subscribers through videos, and then those people stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. YouTube is always trying to marry you up with your audience.
Double D, we got something out here.
Ooh, let's see.
There it is.
Oh yeah, get that up. There's more people.
Guys.
Come on.
Yeah, pump that number up. Rookie numbers.
Doesn't cost a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. We're gonna let you guys go, and we probably are not going to be too far behind. Mrs. D and I have a long drive ahead of us tomorrow, so we're gonna say goodbye to Black Lodge, Matt, and Nick. Thank you guys so very much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much, man.
Good night, guys. We'll remember to give you a shout out on that Wednesday after.
Yeah. We'll talk on Twitter
too.
Absolutely. For sure. Yep. Always a pleasure, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Nice guys.
Yeah,
I always like those guys. Crazy Mouse and I always talk about being around good people, good successful people, and like
Can't
I said,
I feel like you can learn. Learn. We're learning every day, and like how you said, just taking something that another YouTuber could do, and then just not copying it, but expand on it just a little bit.
Yes.
Making a better product, not just for the gaming world, but just for a YouTube channel or just for whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I never understand like people who get like jealous or something, like, oh my God, I've been at this for years, and all of a sudden, these guys now, God, they got to be getting close to like 10,000 subs. And it's like, it ain't rocket science. Now look, you need to have a little bit of charisma, but there's also like stuff
we're doing
you
this
can
without
do.
hot girls dancing in the background.
That's exactly. There's like stuff you can do to make your content better. And it's like a lot of people don't want to do it. They want to just take the easy way. Look at this guy.
Look at him.
Put the Shucked Oyster back up. Whoa, Howard Hughes.
I know, that's awesome.
Thanks for your time, gentlemen. Cheers.
That's
Howard,
That's a mouse trap.
Thank you so much, Howard. If we're ever in the same city or ever at a convention, love to have a beer with you and all you other guys who super chat or give memberships all the time.
Do you know what's so weird is
thank you so much. I
appreciate
it.
When we put him on the big screen, it looks different. But when we're just looking at Howard Hughes's avatar on the small screen, it reminds me of a volleyball, and maybe it reminds Rogan of a water polo ball.
Yeah,
but it just reminds me of like he's a volleyball fan.
Beehive or something like that. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
everybody.
much.
You guys really killed it. Like I'm not one of those guys who begs for super chats and stuff like that, but you guys just continually just amaze me at how much you guys support the channel. And
extremely generous. We have an extremely generous group here.
Yep. I can't
Chris
wait.
Miller, safe travels tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. You and Lord Mattias too.
Double D was going.
What's that?
You said someone else was going tomorrow.
Lord Mattias. Yeah.
Okay.
Lord Mattias is going to be there. In fact, he was on the Saturday stream. We did after the events of this weekend. Kind of talk things out. And
there was
you
some
know.
breaking news with that. I don't know if anybody heard it about. I guess a police officer confronted the shooter on the roof.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
but I guess the shooter either talked to him, pointed his gun, and then the police officer fell off the roof. And I don't know,
he fall?
That's
I
what he
knew
said. Someone said a ladder. Someone said he fell. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I think he started firing like right away. But like, this is where you guys may hate social media, but like I was watching that like with my daughter, and then my wife came home, and you know we just threw the news on. I think it was like Fox News or whatever. And it's like they're covering everything, but I'm scrolling through Twitter and I'm like, oh, this could be the guy. It's like they had the guy like way before like the news did. And I'm like, this is like the future. Like you can rely on the news. You're going to be about a half a day behind. Snake Oil Sean, $10. Hail to Cal Vanoni for his wrench work this evening. Thank you very much, Cal. Yeah, I know this was I don't know what was going on. Something in the water or whatever. But yeah, the shooter was noticed by the Secret Service 3 hours before the show. Yeah, there's again, this is another one where you're on Twitter. Twitter is where everybody goes to post their stuff. Like I was at this rally. Look at this. I think this was the guy. Like there's videos of showing the guy, you know, the attempted assassin just walking around
and getting into position.
Yeah. No, this is like him just literally just kind of walking, hands in pocket, like, but like alone. Like you'd be like, ooh, what's that guy's story? He doesn't look like, look, I've been to 2 Trump rallies. Like I know, you know, the way sort of people act. I mean, I'd have been immediately like, what's this guy, you know, what's this guy doing? You know, so I don't know. Probably don't want to. I think we covered a lot of this ground on Saturday. And like I said, I do kind of want to keep the Wednesday streams a little bit more game focused.
Non-political. Yep.
Yeah, not real political. But you know what, guys,
we can talk about football.
So yeah, we'll get down to 40. We'll get from 80 to 40 real fast. But yeah, I will. You know, I kind of like that because a couple people reached out to me. I think you know, Aaron did Immortal Rising. He was like, "Hey, Double D." He's like, "I just want to thank you for giving us a place to hang out in the immediate, you know, like aftermath, you know, of all that." So I was happy to do that. And I will do that in the future. You know, if it's if something similar happens, and who knows, maybe around election time, maybe I'll do an election night stream or something. That could be fun. Spicy chat today. Some of the commenters should get some help. Yeah, I didn't. I'm sure I'll get a because Crazy Mouse was monitoring it.
We'll give a debrief.
Yeah, he'll give me a debrief. The thing is, here's the thing. And this is what every YouTuber. This is just the law. Unless they're saying stuff, you know, like, you know, I don't know, like the Holocaust didn't happen or shit like that. Or, you know, trying to get you to say the N-word or something. If they pay for it, I'll put it up there and I'll read it. You know, I may read it with a little less, you know, vim and vigor. But look, hey, if they pay for it, as long as it doesn't really violate terms of service or anything, you know, that's what they want to do. That's fine. Mitch, A. Warren Johnson, good to see you, sir. $2 Canadian. Missed a bunch. Is 0-0 in double zero in TSO to be a rich panderer. I don't know. I guess we will
TBD.
We'll see. To be TBD. Yes.
TSO TBD.
TSO TBD. Yes. All right. I'm gonna actually, you know, like I said, kind of a special night. I'm going to VentureCon tomorrow. Plus, I think JD Vance is going to speak tonight. Hopefully, he's not speaking now. I'm sure a lot of people would have bugged out, but I don't want you to miss that speech either. Hopefully, our
Milwaukee is 1 hour behind us.
Yes, yeah. So we'll be VentureCon tomorrow. So tell you what, I'll leave you guys with Donaldus Rising. Because why the heck not?
Hit the like button.
Yes, hit the like.
Hit the like button.
We're at now.
It may not have updated, but I'm sure it'll.
Let me find out.
Sorry.
There we go. 83. Thank
There
you.
you go. All right. That's a little bit more.
We have more likes than viewers. I like it.
There we go. That's all right.
82. Someone just ditched us.
Oh.
All right, so I'll be at
Burn in hell.
Now the good news is this stream you get shorted, but I am going to try to do at least one stream at VentureCon. I'm bringing my computer, my Blue Yeti.
Where's Mrs. Double D going to sit?
We'll see.
In
I
the
don't know.
car.
Yeah, we'll see. See if I can drag her on. Who knows? If I can, if people are amenable, maybe I'll live stream the game I'm going to run. I'd have to see if everybody if people wouldn't mind being on camera though, because people could be a little funny about that, which I am sensitive to. So we'll see. But I will do some kind of a stream or a wrap up stream, or just kind of tell you how it is, and maybe I can get Venger on
or do a short.
Yep, I'll do more than a short. I'll fire up a full stream. So you will see me again this week. I promise that. All right, guys, take care. I'll give you some Donaldus Rising here. Peace on the way out. I love this. I love Sabaton. They don't copyright claim your video to get all the money. They share it. So don't see too many doing that. So I am happy to do this little takeoff. Well, it's their song, but somebody kind of changed the graphics and words. Whoops. I think we have something coming in at the end.
There we go. Yep.
Under the radar. Snake Oil, Sean, thank you so much for the memberships. Enjoy VentureCon and have a safe trip. Oh, thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll have Chris Miller there too, and Lord Mattias. Like I said, so maybe we can get them in on something as well, and give you guys, get the band together and go live.
Peace, everybody.
VentureCon, yes.
Good night, everybody.
Yep. You guys good?
Good.
Yep.
All right. Take you out. Peace. Love you all. We'll talk soon.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.